I am so incredibly glad that this happened, and let me tell you why. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and help me to grow this channel. And if you're returning, welcome back. I truly do appreciate your continued support on my channel, and I hope that you are subscribed as well. So if you have not heard the story over the last week or so of this middle schooler out of Colorado Springs who was brought into the principal's office to talk about the fact that he had the Gadsden flag displayed on his backpack, and these teachers brought him in saying that he could not do so because displaying that flag on his backpack was disruptive to the learning environment and potentially offensive to other students. According to an article in the New York Post, it says, Colorado middle schooler kicked out of class for "Don't Tread on Me" patch that teacher claims originated with slavery. The 12-year-old student at the Vanguard School was ordered to remove the patch of the flag, which featured a coiled rattlesnake and the phrase "Don't tread on me" on a yellow background, before he was allowed to return to class, according to footage of a meeting between the child's mother and an administrator posted to X, formerly Twitter. The administrator at the public charter school tells the boy's mom that he cannot display the patch due to the flag's origins with slavery and the slave trade, the video meeting shows. However, the mom replies that the Gadsden flag's origins can actually be traced to the Revolutionary War, not slavery. The 7th grader also reportedly had other patches depicting semi-automatic weapons, which the school said violated its dress code policy. The clip of the meeting was posted by conservative author Connor Boyack and quickly went viral online, drawing attention across the country and sparking a nationwide debate over the history and relevance of the flag. So this is the 3-minute and 20-second clip of that interaction and how it all played out. If you have seen the full thing, you are welcome to skip ahead about 3 minutes. You don't have to sit and listen to it again, but I am going to play the whole thing because there is so much to unpack here, and I don't want to stop repeatedly throughout the clip. I want to listen to it all the way through and then point out the things that I just think we absolutely need to be talking about.
Thank you. Do they know what the Gadsden flag is? That it's a historical flag?
So the reason that they do not want the flag, the reason we do not want the flag displayed, is due to its origins with slavery and slave trade. That is what was, that's the reasoning behind why we do not want it displayed.
The Gadsden flag?
The "Don't Tread on Me."
Okay. Which is the Gadsden flag? Okay, so he's, what's going to happen if he doesn't take it off?
He is able to go. I was actually just telling him, like, I was upset that he was missing so much school. I'm like, so I asked if can he just take his stuff out of his bag and go back to class. Like, I just want him to go back to class. The bag can't go back. It's got the patch on it because we can't have that in and around other kids. So that's what I was trying to, and then he said you were close. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with slavery. That's like the Revolutionary War patch that was displayed when they were fighting the British. Like that's the revolution. Maybe you're thinking of like the Confederate Confederate flag.
Okay, I am
Is there
just here to
enforce.
No, I am here to enforce the policy that was provided by the district.
Okay.
And definitely, you have every right to not agree with it. I mean,
because the
absolutely.
ACLU says that he's allowed to wear that. If you like go on their website, it's like says in big letters.
All I'm saying is that
unless there's like a ban on patches, period. Like if you said there's no patches allowed at the school, you cannot display what you think or anything like that, or what cheer or anything like that. I think it's like one-sided, because you allow some patches, but not other patches.
Kids have patches like other names and like the American flag and backpacks.
Yeah, that was like flown during the revolution with. I just don't understand that at all.
So what I can do is
and if you go onto the ACLU's website, let's talk to someone.
I can have you speak to Jeff Yoakum again. Okay. And then he can refer you to our person at the district.
Okay.
Because, like I said, we're following district policy, is what we're doing.
Okay.
So, The last thing I want is him out of class.
Yeah, I know.
That's all
He
the last
takes
thing I
his
want.
classes seriously.
Yes.
He studies. He wants to get straight A's. He did that. He made honor roll when he was here before.
Yep.
He intends to do that again right now, but it's hard because he keeps missing class for this. So
I understand that.
yeah, and I mean, we teach him to always stick up for your beliefs. And I mean, you're going over the revolution for 7th grade. I mean, the founding fathers stood up for what they believed in against unjust laws. This is unjust.
Okay, like I said, we're upholding a policy that was provided to us, which we have to uphold.
The whole conversation was just completely insane. And I love this kid because he is sitting there trying not to laugh. And he knows full well that he is the smartest person in the room. And after this conversation, I would not be surprised if that mom was like, why do I even need to send you to school? Like, what is there are probably a million other things that you could be doing with your time that are far more valuable than sitting here being educated by people who are not educated. I love how right at the same time when they're talking about this flag is like the origins in slavery and the slave trade, and at the same moment the mom says the Revolutionary War, and this 12-year-old is sitting there trying not to laugh because he knows that this teacher has absolutely no idea what she's talking about. Next, they're talking about how his options for going back to class is to take the stuff out of his backpack because the backpack can't be in the classroom with other students because it might trigger and offend them. What she thinks this patch actually stands for, it doesn't stand for. But even then, if he was wearing a flag or a patch that had anything to do with slavery, why would that be offensive to you? These people talk about slavery all day, every day, in every single conversation. This is something that we cannot escape because for some reason, slavery is relevant to everything. They manage to infuse it into every single subject and every single topic, and they're offended when we don't acknowledge it. So again, why would that be offensive to you if you were wearing something that symbolizes the thing that you guys cannot avoid discussing? And she's giving him the option that the only way that he can go back to class is if he goes without his bag. So they're tying his education to his compliance. And they're saying, we know that your education is important to you. We know that your grades are important to you. You are a straight A student and you work really hard. But if you fail in those subjects, it's not because we're forcing you or answering your speech or taking something away from you. It's because you are choosing not to obey. And this teacher throughout the conversation keeps referring to the district policy, to the policy apparently that they have sent to this parent repeatedly. Yet when the mom is just like, well, tell me what is in this policy that specifically is relevant to the patch that he has on his backpack. And this teacher doesn't actually want to articulate what that policy is. She just wants to be able to say it's in the policy and have somebody not question it. Thankfully, the policy is available online, and let's remember, this is district-wide for Harrison School District 2 in Colorado Springs, and this is what she is referring to. So when it comes to things like jewelry, accessories, stickers, patches, or anything like that, they can put whatever they want on their clothing or their backpacks as long as it is free from references to drugs, tobacco, alcohol, or weapons, which we will get to in a minute here. But it says references to or images of a sexual nature, free of obscene, profane, vulgar, lewd, or legally defamatory messaging. But if you go to the Harrison School District 2 Facebook page, they have photos from just a couple of months ago celebrating Pride Month, and you can see rainbows and other kinds of Pride paraphernalia on this kid's backpack. You can see the kids getting stickers, rainbow tattoos on their faces, and all of the teachers covered head to toe in Pride representation. There's this kid wearing a Pride flag from top to bottom, and this was essentially an entire Pride event for the school district. Yet while their school policy does not say anything about wearing American flags or anything in reference to American history, it does say that they can wear whatever they want as long as it does not have references to or images of a sexual nature. Thankfully, the issue was resolved and Jaiden was allowed to continue wearing this patch on his backpack. In this follow-up article from New York Post, it says, by Wednesday, the Vanguard School Board of Directors reversed the decision, allowing the boy to attend school with the Gadsden Flag patch visible on his backpack. The Vanguard School recognizes the historical significance of the Gadsden Flag and its place in history, the district said in a statement. This incident is an occasion for us to reaffirm our deep commitment to a classical education in support of these American principles. The decision comes as a relief for Jaiden and his mother. I do want him to stand up for his rights too, and I don't want to say, no, you bow down to the government, Jaiden's mom, Jaiden Rodriguez, said. It's been a tough call to let him do what he wants and say he's at an age to make his own decisions. And I do think as a mom, it was probably really difficult for her to continue to let him do this, even though she knew it was right, but she also knew that it was disruptive to the education that is clearly very important to this kid. But she let him decide for himself. Do you want to continue to wear this patch? Do you want to continue to exercise your First Amendment rights? Are you willing to take the backlash for this? And the kid's response to this has indicated how well educated he is and how good of a job his parents are doing in raising him, because he is willing to make those sacrifices to stand up for what's right. And surprisingly, Colorado Democrat Governor Jared Polis did support this decision. He tweeted, "The Gadsden flag is a proud symbol of the American Revolution and an iconic warning to Britain or any government not to violate the liberties of Americans. It appears on popular American medallions and challenge coins through today, and Ben Franklin also adopted it to symbolize the union of the 13 colonies. It's a great teaching moment for a history lesson." Now, I do want to say, in the original story, the school district disputed that the entire conflict was surrounding this flag. It says, "There has been national media attention on our charter school, the Vanguard School, related to a student having the Gadsden flag on his backpack," Harrison School District 2 administrator said in an email obtained by the newspaper. "Unfortunately, the story is incomplete. The child also had multiple patches of semi-automatic guns on his backpack. The patch in question was part of half a dozen other patches of semi-automatic weapons," the administrator said. The student returned to class without incident after removing the patches of semi-automatic weapons from the backpack. But as we saw in that conversation, there was no mention of these other patches. They were very focused on this patch that, to them, indicated some kind of ties to slavery. As I said in the intro, I am so incredibly glad that this happened, because I think a lot of really important things came out of it. First, as this video went viral, a lot of people were inspired to post videos about accurate American history and to actually make sure that we understand what this symbol actually means. And I think unintentionally, there were probably a lot of leftist people who believe the false revisionist version of history that they've been taught, and they were probably exposed to some of these conversations, and who knows, maybe there were some people that had their eyes open to the fact that they've been lied to about so many symbols of America and what they actually stand for. I also think that it inspired a lot of conversations between parents and their kids to gauge their understanding of American history and to establish a firm foundation of truth. I sat down with two of my kids that are about the same age as Jaiden here, and I asked them if they actually knew what the Gadsden flag was and what it stood for and where it came from, and that was a really helpful conversation to have with them, because they didn't have as accurate of an understanding of it as I would have liked them to have. So that gave us the opportunity to sit down and talk about it, to go through history, and to recognize what some of these symbols actually mean and how significant they truly are. This incident also exposed just how agenda-driven and activist-driven so many of the teachers in our public education system are. And these teachers are actually the direct result and the product of a government-run public education system that has been intent on making sure that the people that it turns out don't actually know what America is about and don't actually know all of the positive things that have come from its creation. And had they not been triggered by this thing, these people who are supposed to be educators, who are supposed to be the experts in this field, would have continued to pass on these lies to classrooms full of 20 to 30 kids at a time without parents knowing that they needed to sit down and correct what kids are being taught. And lastly, this exposed just how flawed the argument that teachers are experts and cannot be questioned truly is. The activist left that are constantly pushing laws that say that teachers should be able to do whatever they want and teach whatever they want, and parents can't question it because they don't have a PhD or any kind of certification in the field of teaching whatsoever. What we've seen from this is that is completely false and untrue. These teachers gave us the full example as to why parents need to be informed, as to why parents need to be able to ask questions, and as to why parents need to be involved. Because if we don't, who knows what the heck our kids are going to be learning? So I would love to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Please like this video, please share it with others, and please be sure you are subscribed. I have noticed that my channel has become a little bit stagnant with subscribers, and I am trying to turn out content as quickly as I can, but I would love to have your support and to see those numbers go up just a little bit. But either way, I do appreciate you watching the video and supporting me in that way, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.